the tiny crowned one of Torenza, lost to time. The stars around the drifting moon were quiet, like they were holding their breath. The moon had no name in any chart. It was broken, cracked down the middle, with old metal bones showing through dead rock. It did not orbit a star. It did not move with purpose. It simply floated, lost to time. The human scout ship Dawnseeker slowed as it came closer. Its engines whispered, careful not to wake whatever ghosts might still live inside the ruins. Commander Hale stood on the bridge, hands behind his back, eyes fixed on the view. He had seen many strange things in deep space, but this place made his skin feel cold. This moon should not exist, he said quietly. Officer Aaron Dale stood near the sensor station. He was young, but sharp. His eyes moved fast as data rolled across the screen. No active weapons. No energy fields, Aaron said. But there is something inside. Deep inside. Hale turned slightly. Something alive? Aaron hesitated. I do not know, sir. It does not read like life. It does not read like a machine either. Hale gave a slow nod. Prepare a landing team. We go down. The shuttle cut through the thin dust cloud around the moon and landed near a wide crack in the surface. Old stone and metal mixed together, shaped by hands that were not human. The air inside the crack was thin but safe, held together by ancient systems that still worked after thousands of years. Aaron stepped out first, boots crunching softly. His suit lights scanned tall, broken walls and fallen pillars. Everything here was huge. Doors taller than ships, symbols carved so deep they looked like scars. These were giants, Aaron whispered. Behind him came Mira Len, the ship's language expert. She touched the wall, eyes wide. Torenzan marks, she said. I thought they were myths. Everyone did, Aaron replied. Torenza was a dead name in history, a star empire erased so completely that even its enemies feared to speak of it. All that remained were warnings. Do not search. Do not wake what sleeps. They moved deeper into the ruins. The halls grew narrower, then suddenly small. This makes no sense, Mira said. Why build small halls inside giant structures? Before Aaron could answer, his light caught a smooth wall ahead. No door, no crack, just perfect metal, untouched by time. At the center was a small shape pressed into the wall, a crown. Not large, not grand, just a simple circle with gentle points, carved clean and calm. Aaron felt his chest tighten. This is not decoration, he said.
This is a seal. Mira stepped closer. There is no control panel.
No lock. They tried scanners. They tried tools. Nothing worked. The wall did not react. Then a soft sound echoed behind them. A child's footsteps. Aaron turned fast. Who is here? A small boy stood at the edge of the hall. His name was Eli, the youngest on the Dawnseeker. He had followed without permission, curiosity stronger than fear. I am sorry, Eli said. I felt something calling me. Hale's voice snapped through the comm. Aaron, why is there a child on your team? Aaron did not answer. He was watching Eli walk toward the sealed wall. Eli, stop, Mira said, her voice shaking. But Eli reached out and touched the crown. The world changed. Light flowed from the wall like water. The floor trembled. Ancient systems woke with a deep, slow hum. The seal split open, not with violence, but like a door opening after a long wait. Inside was a chamber filled with soft glow. At its center floated a crystal shell. Inside the shell was a small figure, a child, no taller than Eli. Thin, fragile, a simple crown rested on the child's head. Aaron forgot how to breathe. This cannot be, Mira whispered. The crystal cracked. A gentle sound filled the room, like a sigh. The shell broke apart into light, and the child inside fell forward. Aaron rushed ahead and caught the body before it hit the floor. The child's skin was pale, almost clear. The eyes slowly opened. They were old. Not in pain, not in fear, just old. The child spoke, voice weak but clear. Torenza, still lives? Mira dropped to her knees. Tears filled her eyes as she understood the words. Yes, she said softly. You live. The child smiled, small and tired.
I am the crowned one, the child said. I was hidden.
When the end came, alarm screamed across the Dawnseeker. On the bridge, Commander Hale stared at the star map as red lights bloomed across it. Multiple signals, the sensor officer shouted. Long range, military fleets. Hale's jaw tightened. From where? Everywhere, came the answer. Deep in space, old powers stirred. They had felt it. The tiny crowned one of Torenza was no longer lost to time. The small chamber glowed faintly as the child sat upright on the floor. Eli's small hand stayed close to the crowned one, not daring to move. Mira knelt beside them, trying to understand the language that spilled softly from the child's lips. Each word carried weight, old and strange, like a melody from a time that had been erased. The human crew had never heard anything like it. Can you understand me? Mira asked gently, her voice trembling. The child nodded slowly. You hear me. Humans, listen. Aaron kept his eyes on the child, careful to make no sudden movements. You have been asleep for thousands of years, he said. Do you know who put you here, I remember? The end, the child whispered. The giants fell. The moon took me. They said I must wait until the ones from the stars came. Wait, why? Eli asked, tilting his head. The crowned one looked at him with a small, serious smile. To keep what is mine safe, to keep Torenza's power safe from those who would take it. Mira's mind raced. Torenza had been wiped from history. The human records barely mentioned it, yet here was proof, a living, breathing child ruler who had survived the empire's fall. She carefully touched the crowned one's hand. The skin was cool, almost like glass. You are real, she whispered. The child looked at her. I am very small, yes, but my mind remembers everything. Aaron helped the child stand. Even standing, the crowned one seemed fragile, but the eyes were sharp, ancient, and full of quiet authority. The soft hum of the chamber grew louder, almost responding to the child's presence. What is happening? Eli asked, looking at the walls. Strange symbols began to glow faintly, lines moving like liquid under the light. This is the old Torenzan magic, the child said. Machines, doors, weapons, all await the crowned one. Only the one who holds the crown may command them. Mira swallowed hard. Machines?
Weapons? How many? The child shook their head.
I do not know, but they are many. They sleep in the old worlds, beyond the stars. And now, I awaken. Aron glanced at the comm panel, then back at the child. Commander Hale needs to know. This is not just a relic. It's a signal. You have power. Others will come for it.
Mira nodded. We need to protect them, and we need to understand what they can do.
The crowned one moved slowly toward the far wall, touching it lightly. The glowing lines traced patterns that had been dormant for millennia. Doors opened silently. Small drones, long dead by human measurement, hovered to life. Each moved as if waiting for instruction. Eli gasped. It's like they're listening to you.
Yes, the crowned one said. Everything listens.
To me, but I am weak now. Weak after the long sleep. Aron studied the drones carefully. They don't recognize humans? The child shook their head. Only the crowned one may command. You may see, but you cannot touch. Not yet. Suddenly, a sound from the ship's sensors made everyone jump. Red lights flashed. Mira ran to the nearest panel. Commander, she said, multiple fleets. They are on approach. Unknown ships, heavily armed.
Long range. They are detecting the crowned one.
Hale's voice was calm but firm, over the comm. Aron, secure the child and bring them back to the Dawn Seeker. Prepare defenses. We don't know what we're up against. Aron helped the child toward the shuttle. Each step was slow, careful. The crowned one's crown gleamed faintly under the chamber lights, small but commanding. The ancient power hummed with it. On the bridge of the Dawn Seeker, sensors blinked furiously. Massive ships moved through the darkness of space, fleets larger than any humans had faced. The alien ships were sleek, deadly, and purposeful. They had detected something the humans barely understood, and now they were coming fast. Mira stayed close to the crowned one. Can they hurt you? She asked softly. The child's voice was quiet but firm. They will try. But the crowned one survives, and Torenza protects what is mine. Eli's small hand found the crowned ones again. I won't let them take you, he said bravely. The child smiled.
You are brave. Humans can be strong, yes?
Yes, Mira said.
We have to be. As the shuttle lifted off from the broken moon, the alien fleets drew closer. Each pulse of their weapon systems glimmered faintly in the distance, and somewhere, deep in the child's memory, a warning echoed. They know, the crowned one whispered. They know I live again, and they will not stop until they take Torenza's last secret. The humans realized the danger fully now. This was no longer a simple mission of exploration. They carried a being that could change the fate of the galaxy. And every moment they delayed meant more alien forces would arrive. More dangers would rise. Aaron gripped the controls, eyes fixed on the star-strewn horizon. We can't outrun them all, he muttered. The crowned one's eyes shone faintly. Then we must outthink them. Torenza's wisdom is mine to share, but I need time. And humans must help. Mira held her breath. She had studied history and language for years, but nothing could have prepared her for this. To protect a tiny ruler lost to time, she would have to understand secrets older than any human civilization. The Dawn Seeker jumped into warp, leaving the broken moon behind. But the fleets did not slow. Sensors tracked them relentlessly, and in the distance, something awakened. Ancient Torenzan machines, long forgotten, stirred in silent orbit around faraway stars. They had heard the child's signal, and now they waited for a command. Inside the ship, the crowned one sat quietly, small hands folded. Their voice broke the tense silence. I do not remember friends. I remember enemies, and I do not know which will come first. Ellie looked up. Then we will be your friends. You are not alone. A soft hum filled the cabin. The ship's systems responded oddly, lights flickering as if sensing the presence of the ancient ruler. Mira reached out, touching the crowned one's hand again. She felt a pulse, slow and steady, like a heartbeat that had lasted thousands of years. Aaron's voice cut through the quiet. We need a plan. We can't fight fleets we do not understand. We can barely understand this child.
And yet, we must protect them. The crowned one's eyes glimmered with a light not of this age.
I will help, but I am weak. Only small humans may shield me now. And time is short. Mira looked at the sensors again. They are almost here. The human crew prepared for battle, but in the back of their minds they all knew something bigger waited. Something ancient, beyond comprehension. The crowned one was more than a child. They were a key, and if the wrong hands touched that key, all that remained of Torenza could vanish from the stars forever. The shuttle shook as the first alien probes pierced through the outer shields. Aaron adjusted controls, shielding the crowned one. The hum from the child grew louder. It was almost musical, a strange vibration that resonated in every metal panel and bone. Then, slowly, the crowned one raised one small hand. The drones that had followed them into the shuttle lifted into the air. They hovered, lights flickering, circling the child protectively. But I cannot last long. But I cannot last long.
Not yet.
You're like a tiny general. The crowned one smiled faintly, but even the smallest can change the course of stars. Outside, alien warships formed lines, weapons ready, engines glowing like molten fire. The humans held their breath. They had no idea how they would survive this attack. But for the first time, they understood one thing clearly. The tiny crowned one of Torenza was alive. And if humanity could keep them safe, the future of the galaxy might be theirs. The shuttle shuddered as the first wave of enemy fire struck the outer shields. Sparks ran along the hull. Aaron gritted his teeth and maneuvered sharply. Mira clung to the crowned one, whispering strange words of comfort she did not fully understand herself. And then, in the silence between attacks, the crowned one spoke again. We will not fail. Not if humans believe. Torenza's last secret will survive through you. The humans exchanged glances, determination settling in their hearts. They had never faced something like this, but they would fight. They would protect the tiny ruler lost to time. And somehow, they would survive the coming storm of alien fleets and awaken the long-lost power of Torenza. The stars ahead were dark, but the smallest light, the light of the crowned one, shone brighter than any weapon or fleet. It was fragile, it was small, but it was hope, and hope had a way of surviving, even against the greatest odds. The Dawn Seeker floated through the empty black of space, its shields flickering from the first contact with the alien scouts. Aaron gripped the control panel, his knuckles white, while Mira stayed close to the crowned one, whispering comfort to the small figure who had already changed everything the humans thought they knew. The crowned one sat quietly, their tiny crown glinting in the soft cabin lights, eyes half closed as if listening to something invisible. "Commander," Aaron said, his voice low but urgent, "they're scanning us. They know we have something, or someone." I don't know what their intent is, but it's not friendly. On the bridge, Hale's gaze never left the sensor readings. The fleets coming toward them were massive, moving with precision that spoke of years of war experience. We've stirred old ghosts, Hale said. We need a plan, and we need it fast. The crowned ones stirred and looked at Aaron, the Watchers. They are here because of me. They know Torenza lives again. But they cannot touch, not if you protect me. Mira leaned closer. Protect you?
How? What can we do?
We are just humans. The child smiled faintly.
Humans are more than they know. You can shield me, guide me, and I will awaken what sleeps. Only, I cannot hold the power long. It is not yet my time. Eli, still gripping the crowned one's hand, looked up. What sleeps? What power? Ancient machines, the crowned one whispered. Weapons, guardians, doors, all of Torenza waits for the last ruler. But only small hands and brave hearts may bring them back. Too much too soon. And they will destroy all. Aaron's mind raced. The child was small, fragile, but the presence in the room was undeniable. The humming from the crowned one was no longer quiet. It pulsed like a heartbeat, vibrating through the walls of the shuttle, through metal and bone alike. Sir, Aaron said, pointing at the display, the alien fleet is splitting. Half are moving to intercept. The others, they are scanning for something else. I think they know the crowned one is alive, but they are also looking for the ruins. Hale's eyes narrowed. Then we must keep moving. We cannot fight them all. Take us to the nearest safe system. Shields up.
Engines to maximum. The shuttle lurched as Aaron pushed the engines harder.
Outside, the alien ships changed formation, some accelerating toward the Dawnseeker, others scanning distant systems, their lights probing the darkness like hungry eyes. The crowned one's small hand lifted, and the humming grew louder, almost musical. Mira could feel it through her fingertips. What are you doing? She asked. Calling, the child said softly. Not with words, but with the song of Torenza. It will awaken them, but only the ones that listen to me. Awaken them? Awaken them? Who? The child's gaze was distant. Machines, guardians of the old empire. Ships and weapons that remember the crowned one. They sleep now, scattered across stars, waiting for one who carries the crown. And I am awake again. Mira shivered. Do you know what happens if they wake too soon? The crowned one nodded slowly. Yes. B. F. They are powerful, too powerful. But if guided by humans, by brave hearts, they will fight for life, not destruction. Aaron watched the sensors nervously. We don't have time to test this. The aliens are closing fast. If we activate anything, it might help. Or it might destroy us all. The crowned one's eyes gleamed. You must trust, or all is lost. Aaron hesitated, then nodded. He took a deep breath. Okay, we trust. The crowned one reached forward, touching the small console near Aaron. The humming grew louder, filling the entire shuttle with a vibration that seemed alive. Lights pulsed in response to the touch, patterns forming across the walls, as if the ship itself recognized the presence of the last ruler of Torenza. Outside, one of the alien ships fired a beam. The shield absorbed it, but the impact shook the shuttle violently. Sparks flew along the control panels. Eli clung tighter to the crowned one, whispering, "It's okay. I am here. We are here." The crowned one's small voice was calm. They will not touch us. Not yet. Torenza watches through me. Then the unexpected happened. Across the shuttle, the long dormant drones that had followed them from the moon stirred. Their lights flickered on. They hovered in midair, circling the crowned one protectively. Not attacking, not moving aggressively, just waiting.
They obey you? Mira whispered, awestruck. Yes, the child said.
But I cannot last long. Each activation drains me. Only small bursts, brief control. If I push too far, I will vanish. And then, nothing will remain. Aran swallowed hard. We have no choice. If we don't fight, they will capture you. We cannot let that happen. Mira nodded. Then we fight. Together. Outside the shuttle, the alien fleet adjusted formation. Sensors indicated they were unsure of what they faced. This hesitation gave the Dawn Seeker precious moments. Aaron adjusted the engines and weapons, taking advantage of the pause. The crowned one closed their eyes briefly. Focus.
Humans, guide me.
The drones lifted higher, forming a shield around the shuttle. As the first alien ship fired again, the drones responded. Beams of faint light shot outward, intercepting the attacks with a precision no human could control. The humming from the crowned one intensified, resonating through the drones, through the ship, through the very fabric of the shuttle's hull. Eli's small voice trembled. It's working, they're stopping them. Yes, the crowned one whispered, but it will not last. I can only protect a few, for a short time.
We must escape the main fleet and reach the safe systems beyond.
Aaron adjusted the shuttle's trajectory. I will get us there. Just hold it together. Mira stayed close, keeping her hand on the crowned one.
We must understand you, she said softly.
Before the fleets catch up, before the others arrive, we need your knowledge. The child's small hand lifted again. Symbols on the walls of the shuttle pulsed faintly. A soft projection appeared, images of distant worlds and ancient machines, glowing faintly in the cabin. Mira's eyes widened. These were maps, star charts, and schematics of weapon systems that had been lost for millennia. These are Torenzan systems, the crowned one said. All wait for me, but many are scattered, too far, too dangerous. If humans guide me, some may awaken, and some may fight for life. Some may destroy everything. Aaron stared at the projection, then back at the crowned one. You are telling me we have the power to awaken an entire lost empire?
And you're small and fragile? The child nodded.
Small, yes, but even the smallest can command the greatest, but not without help, not without trust, and not without bravery. Eli looked at the crowned one with wide eyes. Then we will help. We will be brave. The shuttle shook again as another alien beam struck. The drones responded, intercepting the attack with blinding flashes of light. Sparks ran along the hull, but no serious damage occurred. The crowned one whispered, "We must move. There is a system nearby, long abandoned. Safe for now. There we may plan. There we may awaken more. But hurry, the Watchers are patient, and they will not stop." Aaron pushed the engines harder. The stars blurred as the Dawn Seeker entered warp, carrying the smallest ruler of Torenza through the darkness. Outside, the alien fleet struggled to adjust, their formation broken by the unexpected interference of ancient, loyal machines. Inside, the crowned one rested, small and quiet, while Mira and Arand worked together to understand the maps projected in the cabin. Every symbol held secrets, every line a path to hidden weapons, defense systems, and fleets that had slept for centuries. Eli whispered, "Do you think they know we are here?" The Crowned One opened their eyes, calm and unwavering. "Yes, they know. But they cannot reach me. Not yet. And as long as humans hold courage, Torenza will survive. Through you." Mira swallowed hard. "We have no idea what awaits us. These systems, these machines, the power, it could destroy the galaxy if misused." "Yes," the Crowned One said, "which is why humans must guide them. Not I alone. Only together can the past live safely in the present." Aaron's hands tightened on the console. "Then we fight. We guide. We survive for the Crowned One. For Torenza, and for ourselves." The shuttle moved through the darkness, the faint glow of the Crowned One's crown cutting through the cabin. Outside, alien fleets closed in. Somewhere, scattered across distant stars, ancient machines stirred in response. And inside the tiny child, the last hope of Torenza began to grow, fragile but unbroken, waiting to show the galaxy that even the smallest ruler could command the greatest power. The Dawn Seeker flew on, carrying the tiniest crown in the galaxy, and a human crew who had no idea how dangerous and how extraordinary their charge had become. The galaxy held its breath, and the last ruler of Torenza was awake. The Dawn Seeker raced through space, leaving the broken moon behind. The stars stretched into lines outside the viewports as the ship slipped into the empty darkness between systems. The Crowned One sat quietly in the center of the cabin, their small hands resting on their knees, their tiny crown catching the faint glow of the shuttle lights. The humming that had accompanied them since awakening now pulsed softly, like a heartbeat that reminded everyone aboard that something far older than humanity had returned to life. Aaron's hands moved quickly over the controls, adjusting shields and plotting a course through a labyrinth of uncharted systems. "We are close," he said, his voice low but steady. "A system beyond the patrol routes. Old records show it was once a Torenzan colony. If the child can awaken more of the ancient systems, this is the place." Mira leaned over the projection of the Crowned One's star charts. Symbols moved and shifted as if alive, showing locations of hidden satellites, weapon stations, and ancient fleet depots scattered across the system. "It is massive," she said, astonished. "We could spend years exploring this safely, and still we would only uncover a fraction of what the Crowned One knows." Eli sat beside the child, looking up at them with wide eyes. "Do you remember everything?" he asked softly. The Crowned One shook their head faintly. "No, not everything. I remember the Guardians, the war, the fall. I remember the power and the enemies. But the details are hidden. Only some awaken when the mind is rested." Aaron glanced at the sensors. "Enemies are not waiting," he said grimly. "They are coming. Multiple fleets are moving toward us, recalculating our route. I do not know how much time we have." The Crowned One's small eyes focused, and the humming grew louder. "Then we must act before they arrive. Some weapons, some defenses, can awaken only through me. Only brief contact. Not too long, or they will destroy all around them." Mira nodded, understanding the danger. "We have to coordinate," she said. "We guide the child's touch, keep the power controlled."
"And we hope it is enough to defend the ship." The Dawn Seeker entered the system.
The main star was dim, surrounded by rocky planets, with no signs of life. But scattered among the asteroids and old moons were massive machines, long abandoned, floating in silence. Defense satellites, weapon platforms, and massive drones drifted slowly, all dormant and coated in dust and years of neglect. Eli gasped. "It's like a graveyard, but alive." The Crowned One's eyes shone faintly. Alive? Yes. Waiting. Some will obey. Some will fight. Only careful hands. Only humans may guide them safely. Aaron maneuvered the ship closer to a large platform that resembled a fortress. The sensors blinked rapidly. "These systems are old," he said. "I have no idea if the engines will start, if the weapons will fire. But if the Crowned One can reach the control nodes, we may awaken them." The Crowned One stood slowly. Their small figure seemed fragile against the metal walls of the shuttle, yet the presence they carried filled the room. "I will try," they whispered. "Only humans guide me." Only short bursts. Mira held the Crowned One's hand. "We are with you," she said. "Do not worry. We will not let anything happen to you." The shuttle docked carefully at one of the floating platforms. The metal groaned under the ship's weight, echoing through the empty hulls. The Crowned One stepped out, small and cautious, and walked toward the central control node. Drones from the platform stirred, their lights blinking faintly as if recognizing the child's authority. "Be careful," Aaron warned, his voice tight. "These are ancient machines. If they attack, we may not survive." The Crowned One touched the central console. A soft pulse of light spread through the platform. Slowly, systems activated. Energy nodes hummed, shields formed around the station, and weapons aligned. Though no one fired, the humans watched, hearts pounding, as a network of ancient power came alive again. Mira's eyes widened. It's responding to them. The Crowned One's presence is controlling it. They are commanding without speaking. Suddenly, the sensors on the Dawn Seeker picked up movement. Alien fleets had arrived, faster than anyone expected. Their weapons glowed, targeting the newly awakened platforms. Aaron yelled, "They are here! Prepare for combat!" The Crowned One raised a small hand. Light extended from their fingers, connecting to the drones around the platform. The first shots from alien ships hit the shields. The platforms responded automatically, firing beams of energy that intercepted the incoming weapons. Sparks and explosions lit the empty void of the asteroid field, as ancient machines, long forgotten, defended themselves and the humans aboard the shuttle. Eli clutched the child's hand. "It's working!" he shouted. "Yes," the Crowned One whispered, eyes fixed on the battle. "But I cannot hold it long, not at this power. Too much, and I may vanish." Aaron maneuvered the shuttle through the chaos. "We need to reach more platforms," he shouted. "If we can awaken a few more, we may have a chance." Mira focused on the star charts projected by the Crowned One. "There are more nodes nearby, some control fleets, some control weapons hidden in moons. We can guide the child to each one." Quickly, the Crowned One nodded faintly. "I will try, but every touch drains me. Humans, you must be fast." The shuttle and the child moved from platform to platform, each activation sending pulses through the network of Torenzan defense systems. Alien ships fired relentlessly, but every attack was countered by drones, shields, and long-dormant weapons that now responded to the Crowned One's command. Suddenly, a massive alien warship broke through the outer defenses. Its energy weapons struck one of the platforms directly, causing a violent explosion. Metal twisted and fell into space. Mira shouted, "They are too strong! We cannot hold them all!" The Crowned One's eyes glowed brighter. Focus, humans. The machines will obey if guided carefully. Only short bursts, not too long. Aaron directed the shuttle to the nearest node. We have no choice. We must activate the main control. Everything depends on it. The Crowned One touched the central console of the massive platform. Energy flowed outward like a river of light, linking all the awakened stations. The alien warships' attacks were intercepted, absorbed, and redirected. Beams of ancient Torenzan energy tore through the void, striking the alien fleet with precision they had not expected. Ships were thrown off course, forced into evasive maneuvers. Eli's small voice trembled with awe. They're doing it. They're really doing it. Yes, the Crowned One whispered. But I grow weaker. Only a little more, and I may sleep forever. Humans, you must finish what I began. The Dawnseeker dodged another volley of alien fire, Aaron shouting orders. Mira coordinated with the Crowned One, guiding them to the remaining nodes. Each touch awakened another part of the network, another weapon, another Guardian drone. The system became alive with energy, responding to the child and the humans together. Finally, all the nearby platforms were awake. Shields formed, weapons aligned, and drones hovered protectively over the shuttle. The alien fleets hesitated, unable to penetrate the defenses. The Crowned One sank to their knees, small and exhausted. The humming that had filled the air slowed, fading like a heartbeat growing tired. I cannot hold more, the child whispered. Humans now, only with your courage, Torenza survives. Aaron knelt beside them. We will not fail, he said firmly. Where?
We will protect you.
And we will guide what you began? Mira touched the child gently. You've already done so much. You've awakened the past. We will finish this together. Eli held the Crowned One's hand tightly. We are here. Always, we are your friends. Outside, the alien fleets withdrew, stunned by the sudden awakening of weapons and defenses they had not expected. The Dawnseeker and its crew, guided by the Crowned One, had turned the tide with a combination of human courage and ancient Torenzan power. The child looked around at the humans, eyes weary but determined. The first step is done, but the war is not over. They will return, and they will bring more. The Crowned One cannot survive alone. Humans must guide the rest. We must reach other systems.
We must awaken more before it is too late. Aaron nodded. Then that is what we do.
Together, no matter the danger. The Dawnseeker left the system, carrying the Crowned One and a small human crew through the darkness of space. Behind them, the awakened platform stood like silent sentinels, ready to defend, ready to obey, waiting for the next touch of the tiny ruler lost to time. Eli whispered, We're going to need all the courage we have. The Crowned One smiled faintly. And all the bravery of humans is enough to change the stars themselves. The stars stretched ahead, dark and full of threats. But for the first time, the humans understood that even the smallest ruler could command the greatest power. And if they held courage, if they held trust, they could survive anything the galaxy sent against them. The tiny Crowned One of Torenza was awake, and the universe had noticed. The Dawnseeker glided through the void, leaving the first awakened Torenzan platforms behind. The small crew was quiet, tense, each person feeling the weight of what had happened. Outside, stars stretched endlessly, cold and distant, but inside the shuttle was alive with the faint hum of ancient power that radiated from the tiny crowned one. The child sat quietly, their small fingers resting on their knees. Their eyes, though weary, were bright with awareness. The crowned one had done more than awaken machines. They had reminded the galaxy that Torenza had never truly vanished. Aaron leaned over the console, studying the star maps projected by the child. "There are more systems ahead," he said softly. "Old Torenzan colonies, fleets, defenses. Some may still be asleep. We have to awaken them before the aliens regroup." Mira knelt beside the crowned one, her voice gentle. "You are exhausted. You need rest." The child shook their head faintly. "I cannot. Not yet. Each system, each platform, must feel my presence. Guide me. I grow weaker if I pause too long, and the Watchers, they will arrive." Eli, still holding the child's hand, looked worried. "Watchers? Are they coming now?"
"Yes," the crowned one whispered. "They are patient."
They will not strike yet, but they are calculating.
"They will return with more fleets and more fire." Aran's hands tightened on the controls. "Then we have to move faster. We cannot give them the chance to prepare." The Dawn Seeker jumped into warp, leaving behind the first platforms that now hummed with life. Drones floated above the ship, responding to the crowned one's subtle signals. Each movement of the tiny ruler, each pulse of their presence, activated defenses, prepared weapons, and aligned long-dormant fleets that had been waiting for millennia. As they approached the next system, the sensors picked up movement. It was not a fleet yet, but probes, small and fast, streaking through space to investigate. Aran adjusted the shields and weapons. "They know we are coming. They are watching." The crowned one's eyes glimmered faintly, but we can control what they see, for now. "The Torenzan systems respond to me, but only for short bursts. Too long, and I risk fading." Mira leaned closer, her hand on the child's. "We will guide you. You are not alone." The Dawn Seeker dropped out of warp near a small planet surrounded by debris and remnants of old battles. Among the debris floated massive platforms, hidden from view for centuries. The sensors showed that some systems were still dormant. Some would awaken only to the crowned one's presence. "Here," the child said softly. "We awaken them here." "But humans, you must be careful. These machines, some remember war. Some may not recognize life." Aran nodded. "We'll be careful, but we must awaken them. Otherwise the Watchers will arrive first." The shuttle docked with one of the hidden platforms. The crowned one stepped forward, small and fragile, yet their presence filled the enormous control room. Ancient panels lit up as their tiny hands brushed over the controls. Lights pulsed, energy flowed, and drones stirred, hovering with synchronized precision. Outside, probes detected the activation. The alien fleets would arrive soon, and the sensors on the Dawn Seeker began to blink frantically. "Sir, multiple fleets are on approach," Aaron said, tension in his voice. "They are faster than expected. They've learned from the first attack." The crowned one raised their small hands, and the platforms responded. Energy shields formed around the shuttle. Drones moved into defensive positions. Weapons aligned toward the void, ready to strike the incoming alien forces. Eli whispered, "They're here already." "Yes," the crowned one said softly, "but if guided, we may survive. Humans, you must act quickly. The war is coming, Aran maneuvered the shuttle to position it near the central control node of the platform.
"We'll give you every second we can," he said. "Just focus on awakening the rest."
The Crowned One touched the main console. Energy flowed outward, linking all nearby platforms. Shields flared, and dormant weapons activated in response to the child's command. Outside, alien fleets hesitated, scanning and recalculating. They had not expected such rapid and coordinated defenses. Mira studied the projections. "These are ancient Torenzan weapons," she said, awe in her voice. "Some can destroy entire ships, fleets, and they respond to the Crowned One?" "Yes," the child said softly, "but I cannot hold them long. Humans, guide me carefully. Only bursts." Not continuous. Too much. And I will fade forever. The first alien ships arrived. Their weapons fired, striking the activated platforms. Energy shields absorbed the attacks, and drones intercepted projectiles with blinding precision. The Crowned One's humming grew louder, pulsing through the platforms and the shuttle. Eli held the child's hand tightly. "It's working. We're holding them." "Yes," the Crowned One whispered. "But I am weakening. Humans, you must take the next step." "I cannot sustain this alone." Aaron adjusted the shuttle's trajectory. "We need to awaken the fleet hidden in the asteroid belt nearby. If we do, we can turn the tide." The Crowned One nodded faintly. "Yes."
But each touch drains me, humans.
"Be swift. Courage will protect you." The shuttle moved toward the asteroid belt. Ancient ships, long dormant, floated silently among the rocks. The Crowned One stepped onto the largest vessel, tiny against its massive hull. Their hands moved over the controls, and energy spread like veins through the ship. Systems awakened, engines roared softly after centuries of silence. Weapons aligned. Drones lifted into the void, forming defensive formations around the shuttle. Outside, the alien fleets realized they were facing more than humans. They were facing the revived might of Torenza, guided by the smallest ruler they could never have expected. The first volleys of alien fire struck the asteroid fleet. Beams of ancient energy from Torenzan ships deflected attacks, cutting through enemy weapons before they could reach the shuttle. The Crowned One's presence pulsed with every activation, and the humans felt the weight of history and responsibility in their hands. Mira whispered, "This is incredible. The child, they are controlling everything, and yet they are so small." "Yes," the Crowned One said softly. "Small, yes. But even the smallest can command the greatest, and humans give me strength. Courage gives power." Aaron watched as alien ships faltered, forced into evasive maneuvers. "We're holding them, but not for long. They'll regroup, and we'll face the warlord soon. The main fleet will arrive next." Eli looked up at the Crowned One. "We will protect you." "You are not alone." The child's small smile was faint but unwavering. "Then we may survive, and Torenza may live again." Through humans, the alien fleets began to pull back, realizing the humans and the Crowned One had awakened more power than anticipated. But the Crowned One knew this was only the beginning. The warlord leading the alien forces would not give up. He would arrive with overwhelming might, and the humans would face their first true test. The Dawnseeker and the tiny ruler of Torenza moved on, carrying ancient power and human courage into the darkness of space. Platforms and ships now alive hummed in the distance, ready to obey the child's command. The galaxy had noticed the return of Torenza, and the humans were learning that even the smallest ruler could change the course of war. The Crowned One whispered to the humans, "Prepare. The warlord comes. We must be ready. And, humans, you must guide the rest. Only together can the past live safely in the present." Aran tightened his grip on the controls. "Then we prepare, we fight, and we survive for the Crowned One, for Torenza, and for ourselves." The stars stretched ahead, dark and full of threats, but the light from the Crowned One's crown, small yet resolute, shone brighter than any weapon or fleet. It was fragile, it was tiny, but it was hope, and hope had a way of surviving, even against the greatest odds. The tiny Crowned One of Torenza was awake. The galaxy was watching, and the war had only just begun. The stars ahead were dark, but not empty. Sensors on the Dawnseeker flared red as massive signatures appeared in the void. The alien warlord's fleet had arrived, larger and faster than anyone expected. Ships of black metal and glowing engines filled the space before them, moving with precision that spoke of centuries of conquest. The humans aboard the Dawnseeker knew this would be their first true test. The Crowned One, small and fragile, sat quietly in the center of the cabin, their tiny crown catching the faint light from the control panels. Aron gripped the controls, white knuckles tightening as the sensor showed waves of enemy vessels preparing to strike. "They've learned from our last encounter. We can't outrun all of them. Shields at maximum, prepare for combat." Mira knelt beside the Crowned One. "Are you ready?" she asked softly. The child shook their head faintly. "I am weak from the last awakening. Each touch, each command drains me, but we have no choice. Humans, guide me carefully. I cannot sustain more than short bursts."
If I push too far, I may fade.
Eli gripped the child's hand. "We will protect you. You are not alone." The Dawnseeker dropped from warp into the battle zone. Alien ships moved quickly, forming attack lines and firing energy pulses toward the platforms the humans had awakened. Drones and shields responded immediately, but the sheer number of enemy vessels made every second tense. Erend adjusted the trajectory of the shuttle. "We must reach the central platform. If the Crowned One can awaken its defenses, we might have a chance." The Crowned One stood slowly, small and fragile, yet radiating authority. They stepped onto the platform, their tiny hands moving over the ancient controls. The humming grew louder, pulsing through the massive structure and into the void. Shields flared, weapons aligned, and drones lifted into position, forming protective barriers around the shuttle. Mira's voice trembled slightly. "It's working, but not for long. The child is already weakening."
Yes, the Crowned One whispered. "Every activation drains me."
"Humans guide me. Courage gives power." "Hurry!" The alien warlord's flagship fired a massive beam at the main platform. Energy shields flared, absorbing the attack, but the platform shook under the impact. Sparks and debris flew across the deck. Aron shouted, "Brace for impact!" Eli held the child tightly. "We're with you." The Crowned One touched the main console again. Energy rippled outward, linking all the awakened platforms and ships in the system. Beams of light shot into space, intercepting incoming fire and striking enemy vessels with precision. The first wave of alien ships faltered, forced into evasive maneuvers. Mira studied the projections. "These weapons, they respond only to the Crowned One. It's incredible. They can destroy fleets, yet we control them safely, if guided properly. Yes, the child said softly, but I cannot last long. Only short bursts. Humans, guide me. Aaron adjusted the shuttle's position. We need to awaken the secondary platforms in the asteroid field. If we do, we can turn the tide. The Crowned One nodded faintly. Yes, but every activation drains me further. Humans, be swift. The shuttle moved among the asteroids. Ancient Torenzan ships, long dormant, floated silently among the rocks. The Crowned One stepped onto the largest vessel, tiny against its massive hull. Their hands moved over the controls, and energy spread like veins through the ship. Engines roared softly after centuries of silence. Weapons aligned. Drones lifted into the void, forming protective formations around the shuttle. Outside, the alien warlord realized he was facing more than humans. He was facing the revived might of Torenza, guided by the smallest ruler he could never have expected. The first volleys of alien fire struck the asteroid fleet. Beams of ancient energy from Torenzan ships deflected attacks, cutting through enemy weapons before they could reach the shuttle. The Crowned One's humming grew louder, pulsing through the platforms and the shuttle. Eli whispered, "It's working. We're holding them!" "Yes," the Crowned One whispered. "But I am weakening. Humans, you must take the next step. I cannot sustain this alone." Aran directed the shuttle toward the next dormant platform. Mira coordinated with the Crowned One, guiding them to each node. Each touch awakened another part of the network, another weapon, another guardian drone. The system became alive with energy, responding to the child and the humans together. The alien warlord, seeing his attacks fail, ordered a direct strike on the Crowned One's platform. Massive energy beams tore through space, cutting toward the central platform. Drones intercepted some of the fire, but the main shields began to falter. Aaron shouted, "We can't hold this alone!" The Crowned One lifted a trembling hand. Energy poured outward in a brilliant pulse, linking all platforms and drones. Beams of light struck the incoming enemy fire, deflecting and destroying ships in their path. The humming filled the void, a resonance that stretched beyond sight, commanding the ancient power of Torenza itself. Eli's small voice trembled. "You're amazing, but please, don't disappear."
I will not, if humans hold courage, the Crowned One said faintly.
"You must guide me now. The warlord will not stop." The Dawn Seeker maneuvered among the awakened platforms, guiding the child's commands while avoiding incoming fire. Each activation of the Crowned One drained them further, their small body trembling with the effort of controlling the immense power. Finally, the main platforms and asteroid fleet were fully awakened. The alien warlord's fleet faltered, retreating in confusion. Their weapons had been intercepted, their ships destroyed by energy beams, controlled by the tiny ruler of Torenza. The Crowned One sank to their knees, exhausted. "I cannot continue," they whispered. "Humans, finish what I began. Only courage, only bravery, can survive now." Aaron knelt beside them. "We will not fail.
We will guide the rest. We will protect you.
You've done more than anyone could imagine." Mira touched the child gently. "You've already awakened the past. We will continue your work, safely." Ellie held the Crowned One's hand tightly. "You're not alone."
We are here. Outside, the alien warlord's fleet withdrew, realizing that the humans and the Crowned One had awakened more power than expected.
The battle had been won, but the war was far from over. The Crowned One, though weakened, had proven the strength of courage combined with human guidance. The Dawn Seeker moved on, carrying the tiny ruler of Torenza and a human crew who now understood that even the smallest could command the greatest. Ancient systems hummed in the distance, ready to obey again when needed. The Crowned One whispered, "Prepare, the warlord will return. More fleets, more fire. Humans, you must guide the rest. Only together can the past survive in the present." Aron tightened his grip on the controls.
Then we prepare. We fight.
And we survive for the Crowned One. For Torenza, and for ourselves. The stars stretched ahead, dark and full of threats, but the small crown on the tiny ruler's head shone brighter than any weapon or fleet. It was fragile, it was tiny, but it was hope, and hope had a way of surviving, even against the greatest odds. The tiny Crowned One of Torenza was awake. The galaxy had noticed, and the real war was only just beginning. The stars ahead were alive with distant light, but the darkness of space held threats no human had yet faced. The Dawn Seeker moved cautiously, carrying the tiny Crowned One of Torenza and the crew who had grown to understand that even the smallest ruler could wield power beyond imagination. Outside, sensors picked up alien fleets converging, faster and larger than any the humans had faced before. The warlord they had encountered in the last battle had called reinforcements, and now the full fury of his armada was bearing down on them. Aron's hands gripped the controls tightly. "They've found us. All fleets are converging on our location. Shields at maximum. Weapons ready." Mira stayed close to the Crowned One, who sat quietly in the center of the cabin. Their small hands rested on their knees, and their tiny crown glimmered faintly under the shuttle lights. The humming that had followed them since awakening now pulsed like a heartbeat, filling the shuttle with a vibration that resonated through metal and bone alike. "They are coming," the Crowned One whispered. "The warlord, he will not stop. Humans, you must guide me. Courage gives strength. Bravery gives power. Only together can we survive." Eli held the child's hand tightly. "We are with you. You are not alone." The Dawn Seeker dropped from warp into a system filled with scattered platforms and ancient ships, all lying dormant for centuries. Sensors showed that some systems were still asleep, waiting for the touch of the Crowned One. Aron adjusted the shuttle's position to bring them closer to the largest platform. "We need to awaken it," he said. "It may be our only chance against the full fleet." The Crowned One stood slowly, small and fragile, yet their presence filled the room. Their tiny hands moved over the controls, and the ancient platform responded immediately. Energy pulsed through its veins, weapons aligned, shields flared, and drones lifted into formation, circling the platform protectively. Outside, the alien armada approached. Ships of black metal and glowing engines filled the void, their weapons charged, beams of energy stretching toward the human fleet. Aron's voice was sharp. "Hold positions. The Crowned One will activate the rest." Mira guided the child, whispering instructions. Each touch of the Crowned One's hands sent pulses through the network, awakening platforms, ships, and long dormant drones. Energy rippled through the system like lightning, connecting every part of the Torenzan network. The first volleys from the alien warlord's flagships struck the central platform. Shields flared, absorbing the energy, but the impact shook the structure violently, Sparks flew across control panels, and the small human crew held their positions, hearts pounding. The Crowned One's tiny voice was firm. Humans, guide me. Short bursts. Not long. Too much, and I may vanish, Eli whispered. We will protect you. Don't worry. Energy shot from the awakened platforms and drones, intercepting enemy fire with precision. Beams of Torenzan energy tore through the alien ships, forcing them into evasive maneuvers. The first wave of attacks faltered. The warlord's fleet hesitated, unprepared for the coordination of ancient systems and human guidance. Aaron maneuvered the shuttle carefully among the platforms, ensuring the Crowned One could reach the remaining nodes. Each activation drained the child further, small body trembling with the effort of controlling immense power.
Mira and Aaron guided the movements, careful not to overextend the Crowned One.
Finally, the last dormant platforms were activated. Shields flared across the system, drones formed protective formations, and weapon systems aligned toward the approaching enemy. The alien fleet, now fully aware of the power they faced, faltered again. The Crowned One sank to their knees, exhausted. I cannot hold more, they whispered. Humans, finish what I began. Courage, bravery, only together can Torenza survive. Aaron knelt beside the child. We will not fail. We will guide the rest. You've done more than anyone could imagine. Mira placed her hand gently on the Crowned One's shoulder. You've awakened the past. We will continue safely.
You've done enough for now.
Ellie's small voice trembled.
We are here.
Always. You're not alone. Outside, the alien warlord realized his fleet was facing more than humans. They faced the full awakened might of Torenza, guided by the smallest ruler imaginable. Ships that had slept for centuries now fired with deadly accuracy, intercepting enemy attacks and protecting the Dawnseeker. The warlord's flagship struck with a massive energy beam aimed at the central platform. Energy shields flared violently, absorbing the attack. The ground shook beneath the shuttle, but the coordinated defense held. The Crowned One's presence pulsed through every activated system, reinforcing shields, guiding drones, and controlling weapons. Aaron, there are too many, Mira shouted. We cannot hold them all. Yes, but we can guide the rest, the Crowned One whispered. Humans, you must act with courage. Only together, only together. Eli gripped their hand tighter. We are together, we are brave. The Crowned One's tiny body glowed faintly, the crown shining brighter. Energy pulsed outward in waves, connecting every platform, ship, and drone. Beams of light intercepted every incoming strike. The alien fleet faltered, forced into retreat, while the human crew and the Crowned One maintained the defense with unwavering focus. Aaron directed the shuttle toward a distant platform. If we can link it with the rest, we can cut off the warlord's main fleet. The Crowned One nodded faintly, trembling but determined. Their hands moved quickly, activating the platform's systems. Energy spread like veins across the void, connecting the fleet in a network of shields, weapons, and drones. The alien warlord's attacks failed again and again, each strike countered by ancient Torenzan power guided by human hands. Finally, the alien fleet began to retreat, broken and battered. The Dawnseeker and its crew, with the Crowned One, had survived the first major battle. Yet the child was exhausted, trembling on the platform. Mira knelt beside them. You've done it. You've survived. and we survived with you. The crowned one's small smile was faint, but determined. This is only the beginning. They will return. But humans,
You have shown courage. Bravery
gives power, and with courage, Torenza may survive. Through you. Eli hugged the child carefully.
We are here. We will stay with you.
Always. Aaron's hands tightened on the controls. We will prepare. We will protect you. And we will survive for the crowned one, for Torenza, and for the future. The Dawnseeker moved through the void, carrying the tiny ruler, the human crew, and the awakened Torenzan fleet. Platforms, drones, and ancient ships hummed with life, ready to obey. The galaxy had noticed the return of Torenza, and the humans had learned that even the smallest ruler could command the greatest power. The crowned one whispered softly, their voice barely audible over the hum of the awakened fleet. The Watchers will return. The Warlord will not stop. Humans, you must guide the rest. Only together can the past survive in the present. Aaron nodded firmly. Then we prepare, we fight, and we endure for the crowned one. For Torenza, and for ourselves. The stars stretched ahead, dark and full of unknown threats, but the crowned one's tiny crown glowed with unwavering light. It was small, it was fragile, but it was hope. And hope, no matter how tiny, had a way of surviving against the greatest odds. The tiny crowned one of Torenza was awake. The galaxy had noticed. The war had been won for now, but the real challenge, survival and guiding the ancient power, was just beginning. And humanity, united with the crowned one, had shown that even the smallest ruler could change the fate of the stars. The galaxy was watching, and Torenza would live again.